The second of Chronicles. Chapter 1. And Solomon the son of David continued to get strength in his kingship, and Jehovah his God was with him, and kept making him surpassingly great. And Solomon proceeded to say the word to all Israel, to the chiefs of the thousands, and of the hundreds, and to the judges, and to all the chieftains of all Israel, the heads of the paternal houses. Then Solomon and all the congregation with him went to the high place that was at Gibeon, for there was where the tent of meeting of the true God, which Moses the servant of Jehovah had made in the wilderness, happened to be. However, the ark of the true God David had brought up from Kiriath-Jearim to the place that David had prepared for it, for he had pitched a tent for it in Jerusalem. And the copper altar that Bezalel the son of Uri the son of Hur had made had been put before the tabernacle of Jehovah. And Solomon and the congregation applied as usual to it. Solomon now made offerings there before Jehovah upon the copper altar that belonged to the tent of meeting, and he proceeded to offer upon it 1,000 burnt offerings. During that night God appeared to Solomon, and then said to him, "Ask, what shall I give you?" At that Solomon said to God, "You are the one that exercised great loving kindness toward David my father, and that have made me king in place of him. Now, O Jehovah God, let your promise with David my father prove faithful. For you yourself have made me king over a people as numerous as the dust particles of the earth. Give me now wisdom and knowledge, that I may go out before this people, and that I may come in. For who could judge this great people of yours?" Then God said to Solomon, "For the reason that this has proved to be close to your heart, and you have not asked for wealth, riches, and honor, or for the soul of those hating you, neither is it even many days that you have asked for, but you ask for wisdom and knowledge for yourself, that you may judge my people over whom I have made you king. The wisdom and the knowledge are being given you. Also wealth and riches and honor I shall give you, such as no kings the proprietor to you happen to have, and such as no one after you will come to have." So Solomon came from the high place that was at Gibeon from before the tent of meeting to Jerusalem, and continued to reign over Israel. And Solomon kept gathering chariots and steeds, so that he came to have 1,400 chariots and 12,000 steeds, and he kept them stationed in chariot cities and close by the king at Jerusalem. And the king came to make the silver and the gold in Jerusalem like the stones, and cedar wood he made like the sycamore trees that are in the Shephelah for great quantity. And there was the export of the horses that Solomon had from Egypt, and the company of the king's merchants would themselves take the horse drove for a price. And they customarily brought up and exported from Egypt a chariot for 600 silver pieces, and a horse for 150. And that was the way it was for all the kings of the Hittites and the kings of Syria. It was by means of them that they did the exporting. Chapter 2. Solomon now gave the word to build a house to Jehovah's name, and a house for his kingship. Accordingly, Solomon counted off 70,000 men as burden-bearers, and 80,000 men as cutters in the mountain, and as overseers over them 3,600. Further, Solomon sent to Hiram the king of Tyre, saying, "Just as you dealt with David my father, and you kept sending him cedar wood to build himself a house in which to dwell, here I am building a house to the name of Jehovah my God, to sanctify it to him, to burn perfumed incense before him, with the constant layer bread and burnt offerings in the morning and in the evening, on the Sabbaths and on the new moons, and at the festival seasons of Jehovah our God. To time indefinite this will be upon Israel. And the house that I am building will be great, for our God is greater than all the other gods. And who could retain power to build him a house? For the heavens and the heaven of the heavens cannot contain him. And who am I that I should build him a house, except for making sacrificial smoke before him? And now send me a skillful man to work in gold and in silver, and in copper and in iron, and in wool dyed reddish purple and crimson, and blue thread, and knowing how to cut engravings, along with the skillful ones that are with me in Judah and in Jerusalem, whom David my father has prepared. And send me timbers of cedar, juniper, and algum from Lebanon, for I myself well know that your servants are experienced at cutting down the trees of Lebanon. And here my servants are together with your servants, even for preparing timbers for me in great number, for the house that I am building will be great, yes, in a wonderful way. And look, to the gatherers of wood, the cutters of the trees, I do give wheat as food for your servants, 20,000 cors, and barley 20,000 cors, and wine 20,000 baths, and oil 20,000 baths. At that, Hiram the king of Tyre said the word in writing, and sent it to Solomon. Because Jehovah loved his people, he has constituted you king over them. And Hiram went on to say, Blessed be Jehovah the God of Israel, who made the heavens and the earth, because he has given to David the king a wise son, experienced in discretion and understanding, who will build a house to Jehovah, and a house for his kingship. And now I do send a skillful man, experienced in understanding, belonging to Hiram Abi, the son of a woman of the sons of Dan, but whose father was a man of Tyre, experienced to work in gold and in silver, in copper, in iron, in stones and in timbers, in wool dyed reddish purple, in blue thread and in fine fabric, and in crimson, and at cutting every sort of engraving, and at designing every sort of device that may be given to him, along with your own skillful men, and the skillful men of my lord David your father. And now the wheat and the barley, the oil and the wine that my lord has promised, let him send to his servants. As for ourselves, we shall cut down trees from Lebanon, according to all your need, and we shall bring them to you as rafts by sea to Joppa, and you for your part will take them up to Jerusalem. Then Solomon took account of all the men that were alien residents who were in the land of Israel, after the census that David his father had taken of them. And there came to be found 153,600. So he made 70,000 of them burden-bearers, and 80,000 cutters in the mountain, and 3,600 overseers for keeping the people in service.